Okay, we're back. Dad, my father has been fed. It's really warm. Summer can suck my nuts. Okay, anyway. Now it's taken care of. Hopefully, there's just not 10 more minutes left of this game. Hopefully I can take my time and... Okay. So we basically need to find out if someone is for sure. So I'm pretty sure he is. These guys... She said she adopted him. But he's kind of unsure. Eight possible Roottrees. Okay. Alright, Ryan and Cork. That's right, we were looking them up. Is an unremarkable law firm based in North Carolina, named after the senior partners Winston Ryan and Gregory Cork. They mostly handle local cases, represent anonymum. The website has a section about the case, including a scan of the DNA test results provided, proved by Jane Doe was not Roottree. Okay. Has no chance that anyone's knowledge Courtney made was a Roottree. It is listed as the DNA from Jane Doe was the DNA tested from Jane Doe was tested against the DNA of Bonnie Kellogg, Nee Hudson's guest sister, and Ryan Cork were represented anonymous, have confirmed that the sample they sent to the Roottrees was definitely not Courtney May's hair. That the sample they sent to the Roottrees was definitely Courtney. Okay, the test is from a company called Dnatico, and a doctor has circled the results and signed the paper. I don't know how to read stuff like this. So this would probably be parental aunt. XX. Wait. Adrian Rowland? Dynatico. Okay. Dynatico is a DNA testing company. DNA testing is a relatively new phenomenon. The last science to prove collaborators to prove new phenomenon. Okay, so I was correct in assuming that this was just not available in the 80s and 70s. Or, you know. So they could just make whatever lies they want. People could just make whatever lies, and it just had to be like, you know, trust me, bro. According to their site, Danico was responsible for the DNA test that proved Felix Fellows was a Roottree, and even used it as an example to how DNA tests look like. They used it to provide some information about the process. Whenever they take a sample, so what would be their what would be the motive to fudge a DNA test? Because it's not like Ruby, their lawyer, would have like a claim to any of the money. Put a name of the person of the test according to their legal ID, which is why it says David instead of Felix. Whenever they take a sample in person, they put the name of the person on the test according to their legal ID. Okay, because Guy Hudson's dead, there's no known DNA source for Guy. They tested Felix's hair versus hair samples sent from Roottrees. It's listed as Jane Doe because it wasn't collected in person, but the Roottree company let us know that it was from Bonnie Kellogg. This is why it says it is parental aunt test. The left and right sets of numbers are essentially... Oh, I bet her... Oh! I bet we're going to look at her numbers, and then we're going to look at Jane Doe's numbers for Bonnie's, and they're not going to match up. So it proves that, oh, juicy, oh. Numbers, signatures that perfectly match the DNA of two people. Nobody else. Yeah, I don't know shit about DNA, but if numbers don't match up, bum bum bum. The way the test works is that if certain parts of the signature are shared, there's likely two people are related. As far as you can tell, Dynaco is a legitimate company. They don't seem to have any reason to create fake results. Alright. 16. Okay, so what would be the things? 29. What would be the things to look for? Well, basically, her DNA sequence should be the same, regardless of what is similar between them. So 15, 16. Look at that. It's not the same. Like the first line right away. Not the same. Bum, bum, bum. Bitches, fudge the DNA test. So here's a question. So this is still legit. So what do I do with this information then? So someone basically sent in for her test. They sent, I mean, could it be there any possibility that his test was faked? No, it's a legitimate company. So basically, this test was not. How interesting. Okay. Used to be new, but Spider searching for her doesn't get us her name anyway. Yeah, Lucinda. So. What would that have to do? Wasn't there someone that previously that last name of Jacobson? Maybe searching for them will be helpful. Previously with Jacobson. Okay. Jacobson. Last name Jacobson. Oh my god, this is why you're not supposed to not play the game so far apart. White. Jacobson. Penelope. Smith. I mean, yeah, and there's another Smith, but that doesn't mean shit. Edith Jacobson. Whoa! God. BP! Did you sub again? No, I think it lets you make the notification. Once again, thank you for the sub. Oh, hey, Alex. Well, butter my butt and call me Biscuit. Look who... Yeah! You're a biscuit. Well, I don't have butter, so I guess I can't do the whole request, bro. I'm having to lay down and let my stomach settle. No problem, Alex. I hope you feel better. 22 and 23 in the same day? Gosh. It's an anniversary. Alright. Edith Jacobson. Roottrees. So, Miracle Jr.'s spouse. Okay. Edith Jacobson. Alright. Edith Jacobson. And an arrest. Okay. You're losing your fresh sub smell? Aw. Yeah. BP's starting to smell like a moldy sub sandwich. It's okay though. I'll still eat it. I ain't picky. Well, no, I'm actually really picky. But I'm not picky in the worst way. Very good sub actually. Well, BP, as long as you don't have any bell peppers on you, I call you decent at least. All right. There's a Crime Blotter article about Edith Jacobson that also mentions a Helen Roottrees and a Lucinda Jacobson. Ooh, who's Helen? When she was 8, Edith and her sister Lucinda were arrested for trespassing at the Miracle Congregation's church. We were back, no problem. In 1981, when she was 18, Edith and her sister Lucinda were arrested. So Lucinda bailed out Miracle Jr.'s half-brother, I guess? They were pretending to be a church employee in an attempt to get to the room where the church houses were the weekly thing. The church didn't press charges. They were caught by Helen Roottrees, who was there at the time while her husband Miracle... Okay, so Helen... Okay. Was away preaching. Helen Roottrees was quoted as saying, "Jesus forgives, and so do we. The Lord works in mysterious ways, and I'm confident He has brought you these young women to us for greatest purpose." Interesting. Wait, why are these guys up here? We know these are Roottrees, right? Those are her sons. Why are there, that's confusing. Helen, okay. So Helen's sister bailed out. Dang, they were definitely a couple of wild girls. So I think he is in fact a Roottrees. But I think maybe he was in fact adopted. I'm not sure though. Man, this is I have to be fucking decisive here. I'm not a decisive person. I heart. Oh, hydrate. Okay. Well, I refilled my water, so lucky for you. Thank you. Okay. All right then. Mark Clementine had several interesting leads on it. Mark Clementine. Okay. I'm pretty sure... Hello? Yeah. Crocodile Clementine. The infinite would apply to Florida. Yeah, and then he tried to... Okay. Quite successful for the first 4 years, and he caught when he had to make an emergency landing in Portland after he was bitten on the foot by a crocodile. He was released in parole, but his freedom was lost. He was arrested in San Diego Island and attempting to visit his daughter's graduation. Yeah, and that's how we found all of that. Wait, Australia? Was he in Australia? Oh. I don't understand. Okay. About him being... Okay, Basket Baby of 1950. A few sites have true stories focused on around a religion mentioned in the 1950 gospel singer named Mary. Mary Clementine once found herself dealing with a real-life baby Moses situation. Apparently she had a rather prominent support of the concept of adoption, and someone decided to test how much, and left a baby at a doorstep in a basket. According to the sites, she adopted him without question and raised him on her own son. Although it wasn't national news. Ah, so she just... The babe, I adopted this baby. You been lurking? No problem. I just got back after, you know, cooking dinner for my dad, so I didn't want to rush the ending of this game because we're just about to wrap this up. So I decided to get that out of the way. So in many circles, he known as Basket Baby, and was even okay. So basically, she told a fib. She's like, "This baby I adopted." I'm trying to remember who that actress was who did pretty much something similar. I talked about it the last time. She had an affair with Clark Gable. Was Loretta Young. Yeah. So I talked about this last stream. Or the stream before last stream. The last time I streamed like a month ago. Loretta Young and Clark Gable had an affair. Loretta Young got pregnant. And instead of like, and because this was like, you know, back in like the golden age of Hollywood, where this was basically, would have been like a full-on career ender for her. She gave up her baby for adoption to an out-of-state adoption agency. And then when she returned back to California, she pretended she basically pretended she was adopting a child, but adopted her own baby from the adoption agency that she gave that baby up to. So there would be like, you know, a record. And she only confessed near the end of her life to her daughter that she was the product of sin or some shit like that. Fucked up, right? Although it wasn't national news, it made circles because known as Basket Baby. And even, okay, so in Torres, she grew up. None of the websites state who the woman or baby were. Likely to prevent people from looking at either the people who too close for context, but you know that it's Mary Beth Clementine, who would be shunned due to personal life, and her son Mark, who would be later known as Crocodile Clementine. Yep. Would there be a periodical? Maybe in the Butler County Times? No. Okay. So yeah, she basically... She didn't go as far as Loretta Young was doing it, but essentially she did... This Basket Baby showed up on my doorstep. I guess I'll adopt it. How mysterious. You know? But I'm guessing that he is probably adopted, and I'm pretty sure he's a because his wife was blackmailing him to accept Sam into the family. But then here, oh God, all of Guy's affairs. I gotta fucking clear it up here. Possible Roottrees. I don't know if he went to China. Did she go to China? Or did he? Sorry, she wasn't there. Did Guy go to China? Because he definitely Okay, well, I don't know. Alright, well, what's next? I mean, yeah, was there more that I could do? What else did you want me to do? Oh, featured in a magazine. The media circles became his basket baby. He went on tour. Okay. Oh, if it was a religious thing, it would be in a. It would be a religious, right? Is there a religious? Did I have a religious? No. Equity? No. Use time. Oh, I don't. Oh, I'm a stupid egg. I didn't. Must not. The Portland Telegraph. Where would I find the Portland Tarot? There it is. There we go. That's why. Okay. Portland Telegraph. Okay, basket baby. What? Oh, Crocodile Clementine. I'm an idiot. I probably spelt it wrong, as I often do. That's the one thing about this game is that you need to spell good, and I don't spell good. One of the provided the nickname Crocodile has some details about Crocodile's first major arrest. He was flying weekly between Los Angeles, Juarez, and Vancouver in a small plane. His flights were very low, literally under the radar. He was only caught because he was bit by a crocodile leg, and I call it Mayday because he was losing blood. He tried to tell them that there was a crop duster who somehow cut his leg on a loose piece of metal in the cockpit, but his story seemed very odd, and the controls quickly alert the police without informing them. When he landed, they were waiting to promptly arrest him. Okay, what does this tell me? So yeah, he basically was trying. He was a smuggler. Okay, now we're looking at a whole different thing. What is that? What did this lead me to, though? Like, yeah, okay. I don't get that. You still find more information in 5 Ps. Oh my god. A famous young man. What are you talking? Oh, wasn't his... Are they talking about, what's his name? Flavio Suarez. Alright. like this is all stuff that I looked at though. So yeah, Sonia. Searching neon line and learn she stays on the spotlight. But she's okay, well let's see here. Let's he's 18. $1980. So the year is 1999 in this game. 1981. So when did her... So in 1980, that's before he was born, so when did she... This is unmarried. So what was his name? Edson. Ugh. I mean, off is 1988, so yeah, could be. So I would say that it's possible. But if he was born in 1981 and he didn't leave until 1988. So, you know. 5 Ps in team. Okay. Gosh. Team Blast. Oh, that's right. He's the rapper. God, I completely forgot that was his new name. Once again, this is why you don't pick up a detective game a month after you last played. Even though his music is not targeted towards teen girls, they seem to pay attention anyways. While he hasn't done any interviews with the magazine, they listed him among the hunky hotties for the past few months with small bios that tell you various facts about him. This includes his real name, David. His birthday is February 1977. His star sign is Aquarius, and he grew up in foster care in Portland. Foster care. A letter to the editor also claims that it's possible that he was born that it's not possible that he was born in 1970. He claimed one song called 17 Magazine that he turned 17 in 1992. The editors responded that a statement that they've reached out to his agent, asked his song, and told he wasn't performed by... Okay. Shouldn't print rumors. Oh. He turned 17 in 1992. $1975 would have been when he was born. Oh. Hang on. When did his mom start working? His mom was Joanne. Joanne Robertson. Leadership. Oh my gosh. So she got married in 1976. So she would have had to already have a kid. I'm so confused. My piece. Okay, so, like, I mean, the fact that there's still a possibility that if she was working there in 1975, like, he didn't take over the company until the next year. I don't know. All right. 17 magazine. Unreleased comfortable song by Dirty Davy. There's a reference of it a few sites. And that was one of the first of his first mixtapes, but removed. There's no audio or visual evidence of it existing, but there are independent accounts from people who claim that they heard it and do generally line up. According to the regulation, it was many different loosely connection occurrences of the number 17, mostly violent. The intro starts. Posture check. Okay. Thank you, BP. And the stretch. And the stretch. There you go. Watch me dance for you. Gosh. That would be redeem. I'd make you guys pay money for that kind of stuff, though. See how I care? Oh. Is that what it is? It's not you power tripping over there. It was written on Davy's 17th birthday and involved a fictional but glorified series of murders at fashion show for a teenage magazine with a similar name of the song title. The person doing the violence was apparently trying to beat Dahmer's high score. Oh. Pleads guilty for killing 16 people in 1992. Due to major acts of gun violence in schools earlier this year and the subsequent backlash against violent music and video games, is generally considered a very poor taste to bring up. Most of the people that enjoy them mentioned that only online are either trolls trying to shock the people or... Okay. It was written on his 17th birthday. I'm a little confused why they thought on Song 17 magazine that he turned 17 and oh, okay. Okay, well, he was a foster care student in Portland. Was there anything... understand, like, if he was born in 1975, that's still within the dates of, but she already had the kid. He just wasn't taken over the president yet. So I don't understand why that was leading me around. So he's 2 years older than he says he is. But she was working with the company in 1975. She just didn't get married until the year after. So I don't understand what that like there doesn't seem any, like, concrete evidence there. Like, there doesn't seem like enough of a contradiction. You know? What was her name? Spratt. Ruby Spratt. No S. Unless she was in league with him. Portland. It's her hometown of Portland. Was she in league? Was she in league with 5Ps? 5Ps. Feels so. It was dark and stormy. Yeah. It's called Detective Jazz. I think that's what the game calls it. So she grew up in the Portland, the same place that 5Ps grew up in. So Portland's a big city, so there's a possibility they know each other. For foster care system. Oh, well, there you go. Local teen making change for foster care system. According to the article, Rudy Spratt grew up in a foster care system. Apparently, the valedictorian of her school and was a Girl Scout at the time of the article, was earning her Gold Award. This required a project of her community, and Ruby chose to raise money to build a foundation she called Foster Fountain. When the people has a few small pedestals to stick up above the water, people are expected to toss a coin into the fountain for good luck. They'll be encouraged to aim for the top of the pedestals. All the coins scraped from the bottom and slated to donate to Portland's foster care system, a coalition of local businesses that sponsored the foundation. So she grew up in the foster care system, the Portland foster care system, same way as Dirty Davy or whatever the fuck that guy's name is. This guy. So, what was his name? David Fellows? That's how you spell it. Is that how you spell his name? Owes. Yeah? Okay, so there seems to be, what's the word? Coercion? Is that the word? I don't know. I'm not good at knowing stuff. Like, I like learning and I thirst for knowledge, but I got a fucking leaky pail for a brain. No, that's not what that is. Never mind. See? I'm dumb. Okay. They teamed up. God, I don't know. Maybe she faked his test. So they sent Bonnie's test to them. But then why would her test be fake? Why? I guess the thing is, if there's more people claiming they're a Roottrees, or I guess they don't want to get caught in the act. Other sources, her company, okay. Her company. It's funny how she kind of shows up in a few places that we... What was her legal team's name again? What was her legal team's name again? Colluded. Is that the word? I knew it was a C word. Let me look up. Yeah! Cooperate in secret. That's it. That's the word. BP, thank you. Thank you. God damn it. It was kind of like in the same family. Not really. They both start with a CO. Her new from a double threat. Her company services are here. What's her new company's name? The new company source. Okay, let me see here. Let me see here. Where is the Herald? Ruby, here we go. Ruby Legal Group. Okay, would she be in the Portland Telegraph? Business Watch? The Butler County Times? News Time? Ugh. You have a resource that focuses on important business leaders and their companies. I thought I did Business Watch. I'm so confused. Lawyer Ruby Spat. Ruby Legal Enterprise. Oh, Ruby Legal Enterprise Group. Okay. God damn it. There we go. Nothing? What? What is it called? No, the. Okay, see, this is shit that pisses me off. This is shit that pisses me off. Here, the is capital. Oh, I guess it's because it's the capital of the sentence. But still, come on, man. Like, I had the right idea, but I just didn't have it, you know, perfectly to a T, you know? Okay, now, what? Ruby Legal Enterprise is? Did I not copy the S? What? So there's... Okay. This is not my fault. I copied it exactly here. But it only shows up if there's an S. I will not take this one. I will not take this as a ding to my to my intelligence, because that is bullshit. Clark Rafferty LaRue, as well as Ruby Spratt and her company, Ruby Legal Enterprise, were featured in Business Watch after her company took over the keepers of the Clan's Trust. There is an article about the process of the interviews of both Clark and Ruby. It seems that Ruby actually approached the Roottrees sometime in late March, after the Roottrees rift, but well before Rootmania. As a company accomplishment, but relatively low profile, she offered the work for delivery of the money. How interesting, because maybe she was expecting a payout. She might have been working with 5Ps, so she lured them in with little money and then hoping to get like a piece of the profits. She could be a public face to build her reputation. The family publicly jumped on this chance, as many family members often attempt to spend as little as possible to keep their shares of the Clan's Trust as high as possible. After look over the Clan's Trust more carefully than anyone had in years, Ruby came to the conclusion that Clancy Edward Roottrees' implementation was not legally sound. Clancy Edward Roottrees' implementation was not legally sound. There would be constant legal challenges without some modifications. The family decided to put her in charge of the trust, both legally and as public face, to prevent further business issues. Ruby Legal Enterprise has been described as a mix between a law firm and a PR firm. Her first move was sort of a trial run before she even hired permanently, was to help her draft a public statement accepting Sam into the family and declaring that they've been they begin to address the clan's trust. This went quite well, and they officially hired her in April. Is now in charge of many financial aspects of the company, including verifying any claims of the trans and organizing the various charitable causes such as scholarships. Okay, what does this tell me? That she has a lot of power. They hired her in early April of this year? Oh, that's right. What does that tell me? It's not legally sound. There would be constant legal challenges without some modifications. She's basically been head of the trust and stuff like that, so they gave her a lot of power, a lot of unchecked power. Okay, Portland Telegraph. I mean, we know that she grew up in the the Gold Award. Was a Girl Scout at the time, earning her the Gold Award. Okay, the Foster Foundation is a foundation founded in a small park in Portland. All proceeds from the change thrown in the fountain are donated into the foster care system. A website of Portland's Parks and Recreation mentioned under the trivia section of the foundation reviews was originally conceived by Ruby Spratt, an alumni of the foster care system. As more business signed on her sponsors and grew in scope, she even beyond Spratt's original hopes. The fountain is unique because it has special targets that visitors can aim their coins towards. As a coin lands on the target, each of the sponsor businesses matches it. There's a huge amount of money for each business, but it's more than 100 businesses have agreed to participate, so each penny becomes $1. So yeah, it confirms that the Fountains of Youths. It confirms that she was in the foster care system. I don't... Yeah, the Fountains of Youths. Okay, so Fountains of Youths, maybe look at that in the Portland Telegraph. Called the Fountain of Youth. Apparently, the unveiling of the fountain, Mayor of Portland made a speech, and there were performances by local entertainment as well as ribbon cutting from the most people instrumental in bringing the fountain into fruition. The article calls out all the performers and speakers, within the exception of the mayor, were foster care alumni, and most of them grew up together, close friends. This includes poets, musicians, dancers. Dirty Davy was on the list for the musicians. Okay, so they did have the potential of meeting up with each other. So so they crossed paths. The Garland affair. Oh boy, I don't remember that at all. There seems to be a lawsuit involving people from the Garland affair. Alright, well that would be in a period. Garland affair. Who's the Garlands? That sounds familiar. So these guys are back up to the chopping block, and I wonder why. Like, isn't it... Alright, let me see here. Oh. Okay. So there's actually clues. Okay, I see. There's actually clues I can look at. I'm able to remain true to the ghost of a man. I did not deal with such madness at home. My parents were a perfect match in the worst way. My mother's cruelty is a perfect fit for my father's general spite. Not even our family melodies or religion go back. Remember, God only put one eye in miracle. Okay. What does that have to do with... I'm so... okay, whatever. All right. Let's see here. All right. Okay, Butler County Times. What are you... Did I spell it wrong? People from the Garland affair. What am I supposed to... Mark Zimmer? Okay, it's Garland. Here we go. Yeah, I don't remember. Rochelle and her husband Mark Zimmer have been mentions... Steve Garland. Okay. I was thinking affair like marriage affair. But they meant like affair as in just like a situation. Alright, let me see here. I think this is talking about these people right here. '78. Sued by Garland after Garland saw Zimmer promoting his book Kitchen Tales. And there was this story about, if I remember right, there was this story in that book. Oh, I'm trying to remember. Here's. There's a story about, and it made it seem like they were talking about 2 years, Flora and Yates flirted. They grew their friendship, compared recipes, and combined. She loved his salt and pepper bread. He'd ordered rosemary, though they sweetly about each other, but he one day whisked away, constructed to bake an army's bread. So he left. Be right back. Alright. Oh, you found a good deal on Statler pencils? Ooh. Sorry, I haven't been reading the chat. I've been confused. Trying to remember what happened a month ago. Flora's tears began to salt her bread. The recipes asked the reader to combine flour. Okay. It was 10 to 12 years later that they met again. Seemingly be a fit. Flora's unique dough had earned her a position as the king's personal baker. Yates found success as well. He baked for the kingdom's 45 diplomats. On day they returned from the Dutch Isles with a gift, 400 unbaked loaves. And they sent to a palace bakery to teach a method that required no kneading. Allow the dough to... Okay. Upon seeing Yates, Flora and both delighted and distraught. She felt that she was torn in two. She had not been made aware of the gift and had already prepared buns for the palace ovens. She had buns in the ovens. I'm pretty sure this is saying that these both are blood relatives. Because it seems like they loved each other, but they were separate. Like, it sounds like he went to army or something like that. And she had two buns. And she had prepared buns for the palace ovens. So she already had buns that they'll be unable to bake with her. That she'd be faced with retribution for being unprepared. She cried to Yates, adding more salt to the dough. Yeah, so she was pregnant or had 2 kids or something like that. Yates eased her pain. He insisted that he had no wish to prepare for a return she thought impossible, but he shared her fear of retribution. He knew if they didn't solve her predicament, they would miss their financial chance to bake together. Instead of wallowing in the present, they worked together to shape the future. They entwined their doughs and baked them as one. Thus was born the plated loaf. So he basically, even though he knew those kids weren't his, he was the father that stepped up, right? Is that kind of what I'm trying to picking up here? I hope that's what I'm picking up here. Okay, so international people are prominent comedy leaders. So now we're working on her. Do these guys have the same... Alright. 2 brothers. She's already prepared buns. So that's plural. Okay, so they're not twins. Are they only half brothers? My father was a chef. My mother grew up on a farm. Okay, here we go. Unfortunately, never got it off the ground. His line of cook gig ended up being less temporary than he hoped, and she had to go back to work as a secretary even after Robert was born. enough to go to school, we spent our days with my aunt. In the dinner we worked, my dad had no room for experimenting. Okay. Could it be that one is a kid and the other isn't? What if the what if the older is, but the younger isn't? Years. Hang on. Okay, let me just double check this. Oh my gosh. Racking my brain here. Even though I'm using the duck a lot, it's still racking my brain. Okay, what was her name again? Kristen Farrow. Okay. Was hired. 76. When did she change her name? Okay, Christian Garland. So she got married. And then she left the next year. So the window. So she was only with the company for like 2 years. So while the older kid, very possible. I don't think the younger kid is. Hope. I don't know. God, they're asking for a lot of information. Ugh. Okay. Flirted, because she loved assault. Okay. Bake the army's bread. So he would, yeah, he was whisked away for the army. And they met again 10 to 12 years later. She had not made unaware of the gift and had already prepared buns for the palace ovens. Alright. I think that's how that is. Oh, man. I don't know. Okay. So now I have to look up, oh my gosh. Xenu Lang. the last name first. Yeah, okay. Even though that's not how that search engines work. She had IVF. Helped her sister had a child. Oh, Business Watch, okay. Oh my gosh. She missed out on Watchman of the Year, but did have a pretty sizable article mentions of her history. She was born in 1947, the first of 2 children. Her mother was already in her 30s. That was until 3 years. Sister became clear that her father was not going to have sons to pass his family business down. Her father stayed President Lang Tai. When he died due to social dynamics, the business passed on to his male assistant, a younger brother. Many in the know knew that this could be a problem. His brother was not a businessman and not much younger than his brother. During this time, Zunu essentially ran the company under her uncle's consultant. He began to have problems related to dementia. Zeno, who had already been running things behind the scenes, performed somewhat of a power play. She stopped working until the results of her absence became a cause of problems. Only did they admit they needed her. Good for her. Good for her. Good for her. She knew, lady knew her worth. Lady knew her worth. What does this tell me, though? What does it tell me? Separate results for her company? I'm getting to the point where it's like all these long paragraphs are just kind of bleeding together, and I'm not taking the time to fully read them. Which, you know, I'm trying to just speed through this and get this done. Not really the game's fault, and it's my brain. It's my brain. Okay. Her father stayed, okay, and his daughters began training them in hopes that one of them could have a son who could take over. One of them did have a son, but I don't think he's interested in taking over. I mean, he's not. Like, she's got things covered. What are you asking the business? Separated results for her company. What do you mean by that? Am I just stupid? Separate results for her company. A lot of articles were about Chinese companies. Fortunately, that makes the search not target. We sort of find out older articles, however, stands out very niche because it doesn't involve Lang-type business. The article details new at the time medical industry. In virtual fertilization was brand new, barely a year old, after the first successful IVF birth. Oh. So she had her own child. So I think it's suggesting that she had her own child through IVF. And the cost that would charge them for services was in Business Watch. The new case's high-profile customers would pay premium. Apparently, at the time, was Long Hongbo and his younger daughter, Long Xinzhao, not have children. So in an attempt to create a suitable heir, he paid to have their child implanted in his older daughter, who was unmarried. Wait, what? was long humble, and his younger daughter and her husband could not have children. So, in an attempt to create a suitable heir, he paid to have their child implanted in his older daughter. So this is the company, Keegan's, with operation in the U.S. and China. They made apparent international news in 1994 where the whistleblower came forward. Apparently the services were, in some cases, falsified. While they did not often perform IVF, the whistleblower proved that there's a few of the customers paid for a very different service, an alibi. Oh? The company would claim they performed IVF on someone who was already pregnant to create a cover. I mean, that's, yeah, kind of what I guessed, sort of, for high-profile families who did not want to give up the child, but did not want the shame of an unmarried mother. The whistleblower claimed that they had helped do this at least 6 times, but only provide proof of one case, the daughter of an American politician who is unrelated to your investigation. I would say that she's definitely, so she was already pregnant, but we don't know for sure, because they only gave one. Okay, so they were used as an alibi. Okay, so it's possible. Another company. Keygens. There's another. Oh, fuck, come on. Oh, man. Another business name? Business. Okay, so the one I was in Business Watch. Jesus Christ. Okay. Here we go. You already read about okay. There's a long article that spells a huge controversy. It seems that whistleblower came forward, founded a China partnership involving Mark and Chinese medical specialists, who then built their medical facilities in the U.S. The article mentions that whistleblowers claim Kidgens would not sometimes claim to perform IVF when they did not. This would often use as an excuse for another resident who's pregnancy. If they fly their clients to America, where they would stay for an extended period of time. Then were to return to China with news of successful IVF pregnancy. The whistleblower apparently presented the Department of Health and Human Services with credible evidence. At the time of the article, it was still ongoing investigation, but businesses speculate that after copies of proof that they couldn't imagine a world in which a company would be allowed to continue. Alright, so I would say it's very possible. Like, she did IVF for her sister. But it's very unusual, like, considering Chinese, just to have a child without being married. Like, does that prove it, though? It just proves, like, it's a possibility. Man, I don't know. Alright, what's next? Sonia Alves, okay. Okay, Nia Alves. Yeah, okay, okay. Ah. Different manufacturer business home at the time. Should continue. Okay, what about under the umbrella of okay. The most relevant appearance seems to be an article about the struggles of American media companies doing business with their foreign counterparts due to difference in laws. A few media groups and countries are discussed. Oops. Sorry. Return to game. There we go. A few media groups discussed include those in Africa and the Middle East is also discussed. What the fuck is this? Get out of here. Due to lack of freedom of speech laws in Brazil, they also added a bureaucracy to publishing certain stories. Nia secretly private about her interview supposedly once used her connections to have a reporter fired from a rival newswork Plastica, claiming that it was a shut down story that was doing about her personal life, including that her marriage in 1973 was not of her choice. Her research claimed that claimed she essentially had a husband forced upon her as a child bride at the age of 15. Oh, Jesus. It also claims that past appearances with her husband have been for show. They do not live together. And that she resents her own parents for the arrangement. The final claim was that she must have made her money under the table throughout nefarious and possibly legal means. Oh, during Brazil's dictatorship. As a result, uncovered that she could not possibly have earned enough to start a media company otherwise. After making the statement, the reporter went to hide in fear of safety. Yikes on bikes. Okay. So she was a child bride. But he didn't... I still don't understand, like, am I just stupid and I'm not reading between the lines here? Because I felt like I was doing a pretty good job in the first part of this game. Like, he didn't leave until 1988, and their son was born in 1981, so there's still a chance. Had a husband forced upon her as a child bride. Did I start over? So, when it was getting close to 6, and I had to get off, I promised my dad I would, make him dinner. So I got off, for like 45 minutes to fix some dinner and take care of him, and then I'm back. And now I'm just trying to get through this game, but it's like so much information, and a lot of the information was from like when I played a month ago that's no longer fresh in my mind, and there's just lots of reading, and I'm a little frazzle-dazzled a bit right now, but like a lot of the clues that I'm finding don't seem like cut or dry. Definitely, or no, not this one. And I don't know if it's because I'm stupid, or it's just supposed to be vague and I'm just supposed to go with a gut feeling, Oh, boy. So 1981. Like, there's a lot of... Okay, something I'm not great with is remembering dates. And there seems to be a lot of, like, do the dates match up? Or is there, inconsistencies? And I'm just kind of like... I don't know. I don't know. Why are you asking me? Just because I'm playing the video game? Alright. 78. 78 is when you met him. I don't know. Okay. Sometimes he knew, sometimes he reminded me joining then dealing with, but I actually had people. Okay, so this might match up. You know, despite their best efforts, I got the whole truth. Can I call this lady and just? Okay, we know Robin had her tubes tied, so we know that. Okay, and now these guys. But that doesn't make sense. We know that if she had these kids, this doesn't make sense to me. If she had these, she's a definite Rootree, and these are her sons. So that makes them definite. Even if she had an affair, she's still a definite Rootree. So I don't know what. I don't know what they're trying to say here. Like, am I just stupid? Into their parents. Gwen Rootree. She was definitely a Rootree, right? She was 100% a Rootree, wasn't she? She died in Paris about 3 weeks ago. After leaving Hollywood, she made no effort to stay in the limelight. Like the most all Rootries tend to focus on our larger role guys like us. And about her death, except while it was now she died peacefully, she began to treat it as a sudden severe case of pneumonia. Before that, she had apparently been in relatively good health. According to her friends and family in Paris, she was 67. Yeah, I don't understand what they're trying to say. Like, if she was a Rootree, then that means they're Rootrees, right? Oh my god. The two separated cut their hair short and pose as businessmen to get ahead in life until one of them falls in love and their client in hilarity ensues, starring Gwen Rootree, Leslie Florence, and Harrison Lane. It was fairly popular at the box office and made it a budget back. They were seemed to somewhat formulaic, so it didn't really stand the test of time compared to other classic films in the era. It was recently released the first time on home video due to Rootmania. The time it took to manufacture and ship VSH copies of Guys Like Us missed the height of the craze, which was only lasted a few weeks. Even so, it did some mostly well, and there has been a few talks of a remake. Okay, who are these guys? Lindsay Flores. The other actress in Guys Like before, she was very few small supporting roles, and her performance in Guys was generally thought to be quite good, especially considering she got the second billing to Gwen. Even with the success of Cleve, she retired from Hollywood immediately after her co-starring role. Not much was known to her until recently when Guys Like was released. Friend Roottrees, it came that she died of genetic disease known as Huntington's. Oh, Huntington's. That's too bad. And then we got Harrison Lane. Okay, then I don't... What are you trying to say? Wild Bill Williams. Like, I'm failing to see the point of this. Because even if Wild Bill wasn't their dad, it doesn't mean they're not Rootrees. Because of absence, there were rumors online that he must have already died. But according to a report he tracked down, he's still in his 70s, still lives in Paris, still perfectly fine health. He wouldn't even went to work saying, I think it was Mark Twain who said the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. That seems appropriate today. I've spent a few years with Gwen when we were just stopped along the very long and compelling journey that has been my life and career. Last time I spoke, I was signed the divorce papers. She asked me never to contact her or the kids again. I've always respected those wishes. They never reached out to me either, even as adults, so I have to assume they had some idea of why she hated me so much, and the sacrifices she made on my behalf. I wish them all well, and I'm sorry for their loss. But they have been strangers for 40 years, so I can calmly say that they wouldn't want me to be there. In fact, I can confident my presence would have ruined it. So did he have an affair? That still doesn't mean... Unless... So she made... Okay, alright. So she made sacrifices. Did she maybe take one of the boys from an affair partner of his? This is... I don't know. This part feels like much more of a drag than the first part of the game. I'm gonna admit it. Like, why... I'm rushing, obviously. Because I want to get this done with. But it's still... Okay. There has to be like there has to be like a nugget of questionable doubt here. There has to be like a nugget of like, oh wait, maybe that's something to look into. But there's so far nothing that seems to be, I don't know. It was part of a recent fundraiser in the Reno Comedy Club, the Laugh Lounge, about a month ago. The fundraiser, called The Best Medicine, was helped to find a cure for Huntington's disease. According to the website, she released a statement. Isn't that one of the actresses that died? I'm going to say I didn't know anything about Huntington's. Oh, okay, here we go. Huntington's disease is a genetic disease, and you have, if someone has it, they have a 50-50 chance of passing it down to one of their kids. Oh, that would be fucked up, though. Okay. Now I feel like... Okay, so her co-actress on one of her one of her movies died of Huntington's disease. What if, he tried to sue his brother to get him, like, discredited from the clan's trust because he was born when you know, his mom was unmarried? But what if it turns out that he's actually not a Roottrie because he actually has Huntington's disease, and that's why she's looking into it? Okay. She released a statement. Until recently, I didn't know anything about Huntington's. In the last few months, I've gotten knowing nothing about it and learning more than one person should have to. Until less than a decade ago, it was possible to predict if someone suspected of Huntington's disease had the disease, but due to advanced medicines, tests have been developed. Hopefully, this increased awareness to the first step into finding a cure. Please join me tonight, comedy for a good cause. Does her husband have Huntington's disease? Oh, and so if he had Huntington's disease, he's got a 50-50 chance spreading to his kids. Oh no! Oh man. That was a scare with my family recently. My my paternal grandma has the BRCA gene, or had the BRCA gene. She passed like back in the 90s. But BRCA gene basically makes you like susceptible to cancer. And she had 13 kids. And like an aunt and my uncle died from cancer. couple, some time ago. And then there was like another aunt of mine who's tested positive for it, and she basically had a double vasect. Is it that? No, it. She had both of her breasts removed because she was already in a high stage of cancer with them. She seems to be doing better. Okay, yeah. So my dad. So there's always this fear that my dad could have the BRCA gene. Mastectomy. Okay, thank you, Jen. I don't know what's wrong with me. Sometimes words are impossible for me today. I was gonna say vasectomy, and I'm like, isn't that with the dick? Isn't that something about the dick and the balls? I'm pretty sure my aunt doesn't have those. Pretty sure. Anyway, yeah, that's the dick and balls. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, is it a vasectomy? No, wait. It sounds... That's the dick and balls. But I'm pretty sure that's kind of the right word. See, that's how my brain works, man. That's how my brain works. It's like, I'm close, but I'm not there at all. So anyway. So there was this fear that, my dad could have it. The thing is, I suspected that my dad didn't have it. It was like a gut feeling, but also my dad has, his diabetes, and he's not the picture of health. You would see, cancer would crop up probably for him, in his 40s or 50s. And we finally got him tested, last year. He doesn't have it, by the way, so that means my brother and I are safe. And we don't have it. Which, thank God, because of everything else to deal with. Cancer would be a real bummer. Yeah, that's really... I know, right? Took him a while for him to finally get it done. He actually did the wrong... I kind of... He had to... so we did 23andMe, because, 23andMe went bankrupt, so I don't think you can do it the same way as they did. But before they went bankrupt, we used them. So basically, there's Ancestry. If you want to know more about your ancestry and where your blood is, your genes are from, but 23andMe offered was actually one of the ones that offered what does your health makeup look like. So we went with them. He had to spit in this huge tube, and something went wrong the first time he did it because they sent back there's an error and we couldn't get the genetic code. And I wonder, I don't know. So they sent us another one and he had to do it again. But yeah, it was, yeah. But yeah, everybody, okay. Anyway. So... Dang. Huntington's. Ah! Ah! Jen! Jen, you spooked me! You spooked me, Jen! Jen spooked me. BP spooked me earlier with the same thing. Menaces the both of you. Thank you for the sub, Jen. Thank you so much. Basically, it was an ordeal, but my dad got tested and he doesn't have the BRCA gene, so thank God for that. But to anyone who's listening now or in the future, if cancer runs in your family, definitely look into that. I know, giving your DNA over to a facility is doesn't really have it's like, well, who fucking wants to do that, especially in this political climate. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if cancer runs in your family, it might be because you guys, there's history of the BRCA gene being passed down. Anyway, Huntington's disease works the same way there's a 50-50 chance. Yeah, right here. It says it right here. That the child will get it. They mostly recognizes causes memory issues and uncontrolled movements in the limbs. Those affected typically live for another 15-18 years. There is no cure. Huntington's passed genetically with from parent to child. The gene causes Huntington's to work his way. That is, if a parent has the disease, there's a 50% chance the child will get it. Huntington's cannot be passed or passed on recessively, meaning it cannot skip a generation. In other words, if someone has a mother or father with the Huntington's, but they themselves did not receive it from their parent, their child and their grandchild and so on will never have it. Until the early 1990s, it was possible to test for Huntington's symptoms would usually appear later in life. This would often be the person affected already had children. It would then be impossible to know if the child had it. It was a 50-50 chance. The dad came out with the test for children. So I'm wondering if Ronnie, if Ronnie has it. Yeah, so if Ronnie has it, then that means he's not a Rootree. See, I'm just using the duck here to tell me what to search. I'm still getting the story. I'm still kind of getting what they're trying to, even though I feel like, why would I? Like, this just doesn't feel like a very natural thing. Because why would I doubt Ronnie and Robbie to why would the character I play doubt like one of them isn't a Rootree? Oh, they're making the Guys Like Us remake. Has been discussed a few times on a website upon upcoming films called Movie News. The logo is cow of a film canister. The rumor cast is Cameron Diaz in the role originally by Gwen. Oh, Linda Florentine and Chris O'Donnell. According to the news leaks, the remake has been put out on an infinite hiatus due to its director, who is speculated to be Ron Rootree, dropping out of the wake of a serious medical issue. That's the rumor. Holy crap! He's not a Rootree. Holy shit biscuits. So that's interesting. So she knew that. Oh, wow. She knew that Ronnie wasn't her kid. And yet she took him in as her own anyway. That's crazy. Yeah, and the sacrifice that she was basically, accepting this. Yeah, okay. That's so. Oh my god, that's such irony. Holy crap! He was suing. He basically tried to get his brother to not be part of the trust anymore, because his brother was basically a spendthrift and kept gambling the money away and shit like that. So he tried to get his brother because he wasn't, he wasn't born in wedlock. Tried to get him removed from the trust, but now it turns out that he doesn't belong in the trust. Wow, that's pretty. Anyway. We're just kind of, like I said, we're just flying through. We're just using the duck a lot because, like I said, it's been a month since I played this game. Okay. Divorced 1958 from Wild Bill Williams. focus on the fact that she announced her divorce, also announced that she was pregnant again. Other mentions of rumors the wife had multiple affairs, which left her heart broken. Then the power of my name is undeniable. My grandfather constantly preached importance. There's nothing wrong with Cornell, but Roottrees has power. Wild Belt isn't a famous name. Okay. Although we were close to Paris. So he had a lot of affairs. Pregnant again, quote unquote. This is actually the first time she was pregnant. I see what you mean there. Oh gosh. Found all the smoking guns. Had been seen in public with blondes mostly. Oh, that. So yeah, achievement sound. Interesting. So that's why he's blonde too, because Wild Bill just always went for the blondes. Walter Forsythe. I'm actually taken. Earlier this year, I did a friend a favor. He was directing a war movie and asked me to play a small part. Would you know? And the son of a bitch cut me from the picture. I'm just ripping. It wasn't my fault. Apparently, the studio didn't want me to pay for a star of my caliber. I got a last laugh, though. I met someone. She was spent most of her time crying. Ironically, the third rumor of the divorce was also due to multiple affairs, including one from another actress. Bum, bum, bum! She was holding a baby and visibly pregnant. Holding a baby visibly pregnant. Not long after Gwen announced that she was divorcing a while, and that she was pregnant again, giving the rumors more credibility. So he is a Roottrees. All right, now we got to figure out who's who in this game of where and when. Okay. He's adopted. Ooh. We're gonna say yes to her because it seems like that's a possibility. Man, I don't know. Oh, here on. Oh God, I don't know. So many of this. It's like I feel like. All right, I'm pretty confident about these. Okay. Oh, but I don't know. Alright, let's just go over one number one. I'm pretty sure he is. Because his wife used this as a leverage to get him to accept salmon. It seems like this chief steward is in fact adopted. But it does seem like this one is most likely possible if true. Seems like this one was a cover-up. Okay, so I'm trying to think here that maybe impossible to prove might be because the people to prove the genetic tests are long since passed. I'm thinking that's what that might mean, because it's like, oh, there's no way for us to tell. But there is a way for tell because we have DNA testing. Unless both of the people are dead. And there's no, like, blood relatives available. I mean, there is him. And I guess they could look to see if they're brothers. Maybe? I don't know. I'm pretty confident about this. This one, possible Roottrees. So he was born. Okay, so there must be the way that they're trying to like set this up is that he knows Ruby. Clearly, they're past cost. And they're making it seem like he was born in 1975. But wasn't she working for the company in 1970? But he didn't. He only took over in 1976. But then why say that? I don't know. That's the thing. That's the thing I'm not too sure about. Where is here it is. All right. Joanne Robertson. 1975. I guess if he was born this year, he's not, okay, so maybe, okay, he's not, even, I don't even see Guy on the, anywhere on the staff. So maybe they actually did not meet until 1976. Yeah. Oh, 90, he didn't he didn't actually replace, hold on. He didn't replace, he didn't replace Ernest until 1977. When did she leave? 1977. But she got married in 76. No, okay. So she was already married. Okay, so if he was born in 1975... Oh, that's it. That's it. That's it! Because he's trying to say that he was born... Okay, so Felix Fellows, the rapper guy, he's trying to cover up that he was actually born in 1977, which would have been the year him and his mom would have met. But but if he was born in 1975, he was already born, and Guy didn't take over the company to 1977. That's it. He can't be a Rootree. Because he's 2 years... They didn't meet until 2 years after he was born. That's it. That's the cover-up. And so basically they're trying to, like... So how did she... So where are the DNA tests? So the DNA tests don't match up. Well, these DNA tests don't match up. So who... So this could be his DNA. Or someone else's DNA. This could be his DNA, and then maybe, like... So maybe, like... Because the thing is, when you do DNA tests nowadays, they can tell you, like... They can look at, like, the similarities and actually say, like, what is your relationship to this person. But maybe they couldn't do that back then. Maybe they could only see enough similarities to prove that they were related, and not necessarily know exactly, how are they related. Since this was new technology back then. So... So it could be that she sent, fake samples. We know this doesn't match up, Jane Doe doesn't match up with Bonnie's. Here? Yeah, it doesn't match up. Shit here. 99%. I see how that works. Yeah, that would be how that works basically. They don't have the technology to find out exactly how you're related to someone yet in this point in time. But yeah, he was born 2 years before they met, so he couldn't be that. So that means that most likely okay, so this here alright, so and plus, okay, and also, even if I wasn't sure about the dates, which I think I definitely am more sure about the dates here, I would still go with this because they're definitely building something up here where, him and Ruby know each other. So it would be like a lot of information pointing to that direction without, without any build up. Okay, so here, I'm basically, so it's this story here. Where they're talking about joining their families in one, and it sounds like she already, the way the story is written out is like she already has a child, so they loved each other, but they didn't see each other for like 10 years. She already had a child because I did check the dates on this, and if they're 3 years apart, she was only with the company for 2 years. So there is a, there is, like, you know, an inconsistency there. So I think this is still... I think this is still good. I think this is still what I want to go with. Because with the story that's kind of based on that, and the way that, you know, the dates don't match up in that way for both of them to be his kids. Okay, so we're going with that. Okay, them. Yeah, so basically it was a cover-up for because it is possible to prove. Because they could test her with Bonnie. So she is a possible Rootree. Okay, so that's what I was getting confused with, the possible and non-impossible. Not possible means there's no way for them to test. Because he wouldn't be related to Bonnie. I mean, there might be, like, some DNA matches there, but basically the two people that he could, like, you know, also he's dead. That would be he's dead, basically. That would be the thing. He's dead too. So I think that's what they mean, that it's possible, but we can't prove it because, you know, they've all since passed away. But we could probably prove these guys. I don't know. I guess we're gonna go with this one as a possible Rootree because it could be that the IVF she used the IVF to the first time she did IVF for her sister might have been legit, but the second time was to cover up this pregnancy. Okay, oh, excuse me. Because Mom was advised by Ryan Cook. Okay. Mom was 100% confident there's nobody else. She could have been the father. Alright. Yeah, so if we're basically throwing all the DNA tests out the window, it is, she's back on the market as a possible Rootree. Okay, this guy. I would say this is also possible because clearly they were in the same picture together, and she fucking hated her husband. Right? She hated her husband, and this literally comes from a picture where they're standing next to each other. This one, actually. So I would say that's a possible one. And this one, basically the husband fucking lost his shit because he was so certain that those were not his children. He was convinced that he was not the father of Mrs. Hughes. Current pregnancy. So she was still pregnant. So she was still pregnant with them when he was so certain that he could not be the father. So maybe because they didn't have relations. Is this the one that that was pregnant and had a baby in her arms? I don't know what you're talking about. It's been a month since I played this game, Jen, so I'm a bit I'm trying to recollect like everything that since I played, so I don't remember. I think these girls are possible Roottrees, because if he was so certain that if he was so certain, it was a few minutes ago. Oh, okay. Yeah, that might have been 20 years ago at this point with my brain. I'm sorry I'm like this. I wish I wasn't. Okay. If he's so certain that those weren't his kids when she was still pregnant, it could be that they didn't have intercourse around the time she would be pregnant. And he did donate. She did convince him to donate a lot of money to the wing to the school. Oh, biscuits. She basically used her own kids as blackmail for this asshole. Like, if you don't donate this money, I'm gonna come clean, and your reputation for, people are gonna know that you're a fucking player. Alright, and then there's these guys. Ronnie has come down with a disease. Most likely Huntington's. And we know that a fellow actress of hers died for Huntington's. Wow, yeah, no. And it wouldn't... And the thing is... She would have died from even if we didn't know all that, she would have died from Huntington's. But she didn't die from that. So there's no way he would just get that disease, magically out of nowhere. Unless he wasn't her kid. Alright. I think... I went through each one. Yeah, and I think that she's so sure that it was with guys because she probably slept with nobody else. Alright, I think this is... Oh, God, I feel like that's the best I can do. I was really overwhelmed for a second, but I went through each one, and, I went through each one, and I feel like that's the best. An hour waiting for a drive-thru? Well, it better be good food, BP. Jesus. Alright, we're gonna just... Okay, you're actually here for the grand finale, so... I'm locking in my answers. But first... Here's the final optional entries you followed. Okay. Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, completed the family tree. That was just easy because it was, just whatever was left. Hey, guys.
Beatrice and Courtney May. Clark, can you swing another test against Bonnie's DNA?
Beatrice and Courtney May. Oh, yeah.
This time I'll be sure to have them verify both samples in person.
Yeah. 1 week later.
Using the family tree you filled out, as well as DNA tests, we were able to uncover the truth behind all the inconsistencies.
So did I get them right?
Clark's handling the business, but I've come to thank you and fill you in on everything we've learned. Buckle up, because it's been one heck of a week.
Oh, juicy, juicy. Oh, learning the problems of that I have no stakes in. Learning the tea of people that I have no stakes in. Juicy, juicy. Give it to me.
Actually, that's an understatement. It's not every week you discover your family company is being sabotaged by someone they trusted.
So that was right. Okay, so Ruby was trying to pull a fucking fast one. Trying to get the company's money. That's the only type of tea I enjoy. I like other teas. this particular tea is a significant thirst quencher though. Okay.
But that's the kind of time we've been having. Like I said, buckle up. Maybe grab some popcorn. We'll start with Guy Hudson.
Playboy.
Guy had a frankly ridiculous number of potential children. What shocked me is how many graduated from potential to confirmed.
Wow.
We can even prove he was aware of them. The smoking gun was how he used company money to pay off a lot of women.
That's what he was fucking doing. What a
He hit it
sleazeball.
with a method inspired by his idol, Elias. 5-piece flavors. The flavors he was paying to research were a ruse.
Oh. That's why. Oh, and that's why caviar was like terrible. He didn't do any research. He didn't do any product testing.
He developed flavors based on the initials of the women he was paying. Which was really stupid, considering one of their names started with X.
Holy shit! Oh, thanks for hanging out, Jen. You have a good snoozy sleep. I know it's a school day tomorrow, so, but you take care of yourself. Dang, caviar, butterscotch, strawberry, sugar plum. Dang, and that's his 5. That's the 5 affairs he was having. Oh, hey, how's it going, JH? Caviar, butterscotch. I mean, butterscotch is delicious, but caviar? You couldn't come up with a better flavor that started with a C other than caviar? Guy was a dumbass. Unless he was so, like, rich and, bougie that he thought caviar was gonna be a home fucking run. Yeah, caramel. Exactly. Exactly, BP. Caramel. Or citrus. Or chocolate. Or cookies and cream. Zigua? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Starts with an X. Yeah. Probably should have gone with the last name for that one.
Let's start with Christine. Guy was paying her under the name Caviar, but there were some other clues. James was born 9 months after Zach's party.
Christine. James was born 9 months after Zach's party. A local caretaker met Elizabeth, daughter, one of Guy's parties. I'm trying to. Right, Christine was. She had the two boys. They had a retirement party in November. Oh, see, yeah, see the details of this date. This was like a little bit too in depth for my brain to comprehend. But then again, like I said, this stuff I learned about this stuff like a month ago.
Christine was there with Guy, and when she got pregnant, she panicked.
Steve stepped up.
He even turned it into one of his recipe stories.
Yeah, and then the other kid is his son, though.
Not all of Guy's affairs led to offspring. He may have slept with Robin Martin, but she didn't have children.
Yeah.
So we'll never know.
Because she had her tubes tied.
Also, not every child of Guy's affair partners were his. Robert Garland was born after his parents had already moved to Boston.
Oh, I got that right. Woohoo!
Skipping Beatrice for now. Up next is Lang Xinyu.
Xinyu.
When Guy showed up in China, she was into America. And Americans. Dare I say redheads, even?
Okay. Butch Cassidy and Robert Redford. Was he a redhead? I don't know. I know the name. I don't know if he was a redhead.
When she got pregnant, her father paid key genes to fake IVF. They claimed her sister was unable to conceive.
But I thought that was the son, though.
But her sister and Jerry had their own son, Mark.
Oh, okay. I didn't pick this up. I thought she had an IVF for her sister. Like the first I guess I can assume the first IVF was real.
Sonia Alves was soon after. Nia was married at a very young age to a much older husband.
She hated the guy.
She resented him.
Uh-huh.
I don't blame her. They allegedly spent no time together in private.
No boinkin for them.
Guy was in Brazil during Christmas 1979. It's the only Christmas not in the records.
Yeah, it was mostly like an assumption.
Flavio was born 9 months later, and like the others, Guy started paying Sonia.
Yeah.
Last was Susan Ford, hired to translate for Guy's overseas trips. It's easy to read into Guy's donation to her school, but there's no definitive proof there.
Yeah, and that's what I was confused with. The husband. The husband seemed very concerned though, like when she was already pregnant. And that was like my major lead, because how would he be so sure if the kids weren't even born yet that they weren't his, unless they just weren't having relations like that?
She and Guy were witnessed together near the end of his life. Susan's husband was convinced he couldn't be the father of her daughters. Guy, though, paid double. The price of twins.
Oh. Yeah, all this right here, completely missed that. Dang. All the flavors of the children, I did not see that pattern there. But that's fucking smart.
So, what about 5Ps?
Yeah.
Felix Fellow's mother,
He was born
Joanna,
2 years.
doesn't have a 5 pieces flavor. On top of that, his story doesn't really add up.
Nope. He's 2 years older than he says he is. And his mom wouldn't have met Guy. He would have been already born when Guy took over the company.
His mother already left the company by the time Guy became president.
Or
and
that
his
too.
lyrics indicate he was born sometime around 1975.
Yeah.
Alone, that wouldn't necessarily prove it. But there are some suspicious connections between Felix and the company's current lawyer, Ruby Spratt.
Yeah. And that's what cemented for me, you know? All this, like... I'm not sure about the whole, like, you know, the years thing, but the fact that it felt like they were leading up to something, and for it to go nowhere, I was kind of, like, betting on that,
They
basically.
both grew up in Portland, in
Uh-huh.
foster care. And according to the local paper, they definitely knew one another. Ruby was the one who approached the Roottrees to begin with. It was all a setup.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby and Felix saw my book's challenge to the Clancet Trust as an opportunity.
Ah.
His mother really had worked for Roottree, and Ruby was a respected lawyer.
Was. Keyword.
She exploited my family's greed, worked her way into control of the trust, and ensured Felix got a piece. But they made some mistakes along the way.
And she worked for cheap, because Felix would give her some of the money.
If you look at the 2 DNA tests that
They don't
Ruby
match up!
handled, they were both
I did see that!
supposedly tested against Bonnie Hudson.
Yep.
But the 2 signatures that should both represent Bonnie don't match. After Clark and I confronted her, Ruby lawyered up. Ironic, I know. We suspect Ruby had Donatico test Felix against his own mother's DNA. He had a hairbrush of hers. They sent the female sample in remotely.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier, you know? Like, back then, they probably weren't able to tell exactly how you related to somebody, just that you were related to somebody. So they wouldn't be able to tell a mother from an aunt.
On the second test, Bonnie's sample was tested locally, but Courtney May's was not.
Ah.
Ruby's been throwing away samples. We think she sent her own hair instead of Courtney May's, but it could have been anyone's.
Yeah.
Ruby and Felix were in cahoots. As for why, they were both advocates of wealth redistribution.
Mm-hmm.
A noble effort, but once they controlled the family fortune, they became just as greedy as the worst members of my family. The money corrupted them.
I mean, yeah. Money, like, they say, the saying absolute power corrupts absolutely, but, the saying where, absolute power reveals, true intentions.
They were so eager to personally wield the wealth for their own cause that they sabotaged any other claims.
Basically, and I think I've said this before, if you as an individual ever get like a bunch of power and money, you need to have a very strong sense of self and the person you want to be in order for that to not, personally affect you. Just look at the Google guys, The Google guys used to be, like, what was Google's original, slogan? Don't be evil. So much for that.
That finally brings us to Anonymom, aka Beatrice Watts. Her tales of guys' parties and payoffs were true.
Now it's be extra evil. Exactly. Yep.
She even approached Ruby before 5Ps was on news time. Ruby used Beatrice's truths to make Felix's lies feel real, then ruined the DNA test so that Beatrice looked phony in the public court of opinion.
Wow. Use Beatrice's truths. So that's what the daughter was saying, because she says we went first. We went before Felix. That's what the daughter was saying on her website.
I feel worst for her in all of this.
Yeah. Basically her integrity was called into question.
While Ruby and Felix stole the show, there were some other potential new family members as well. Miracle Roottrees was less of an open and shut case.
Mm-hmm. He's a big old fat hypocrite.
That said, it's very likely he had a son with Mary Beth Clementine.
Yep.
Not Stuart. Mary Beth adopted him before she ever set foot in Butler County.
Exactly.
That leaves Mark. The timeline fits. He showed up about 9 months after Mary Beth visited Miracle. And the basket baby story is a bit too convenient.
No fucks! Right?
If
that's what I
not
said.
Enough on its own. He was also bailed out by the sister of Edith Roottrees, Miracle Jr.'s wife, after she changed her name to win that silly contest. Our best guess is that Mark was told by his mother whose son he was, and used that fact to put some pressure on Miracle Jr.
Ah. Was told by his mother whose son he wasn't. Okay.
We have no real proof of that, but nothing else really makes sense for why they'd be connected in that way.
Exactly.
Elias's affair was the most ambiguous.
Another fucking hypocrite.
Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias to do things he wouldn't have otherwise done, like pressure to include me in the family.
Mm-hmm.
My son even mentioned them arguing about someone named Beth.
It was actually Bess.
Combined with Gwyneth's lisp, it's possible the name was actually Bess. Unfortunately, all we know about Bess Williams is that she wrote his book and died not long after, leaving her only son an orphan.
But couldn't you test his children to see if there's a close match?
The timeline fits with Wildcat, but there's no record if she had any other relationship. Honestly, I wouldn't say we had enough evidence either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Elias cheated. Of course, I'm a bit biased. Regardless, we haven't gotten in touch with any of the Williams clan yet. That means we haven't been able to do a DNA test. As
Okay, so
Clark
you can.
mentioned, from here on out, all of our DNA tests will be in person for both parties.
Okay. So yeah, it's because he's dead that they couldn't do a DNA test time with him. And I got that right.
Lastly, we have a bit of a curveball. Ron Roottree isn't related to us by blood. Gwyn was definitely pregnant, so it's likely Robbie is.
Yep.
When Ron and Robbie went to visit their mother at the end of her life, something changed.
Did she reveal to them?
Additionally, there have been a few rumors circling around Ron. RR Productions canceled the Guys Like Us remake due to the director's illness.
Yeah.
At the same time, Ron's wife Penelope began doing benefits for Huntington's disease, stating that she had become familiar with it.
Ding, ding, ding.
Huntington's is the same disease that Gwyn's former co-star Leslie Florence had. It's passed from parent to child. It can't skip a generation.
Yep.
Because Gwyn and Wild Bill didn't have Huntington's, and Ron seems to, it's impossible Gwyn was his mother. I recently confirmed all this with Ron. At the end of her life, Gwyn told Ron the story. Leslie and Bill had an affair the same year Leslie learned she had Huntington's. Leslie got pregnant. Leslie wasn't likely to survive to see her child grow up. And even if she did, she didn't want to be a burden. She begged Gwyn and Wild Bill to adopt her child.
Dang.
Gwyn did. Mere weeks after she found out she was having her own son, she also took in Ron. Wild
see.
Bill was a problem. Unreliable and a serial adulterer. Gwyn divorced him and never saw him again.
Good fucking riddance.
Gwyn had already told Starlet she was pregnant, so it never really made waves when people saw her with a child in Paris. There was gossip during her divorce when she was discovered to be pregnant again. In actuality, it was the final months of her only pregnancy.
I see.
To lay low, she stayed in Paris long enough that even her own family never had reason to question the timeline. It's one heck of a story, and frankly, nobody could be expected to piece the timeline together, not with what few mentions of Gwyn's past have survived. But the Huntingtons itself? That's proof.
Yep. Woohoo! Did I get them all right? I think I got them all right.
Ron suing Robbie to remove him from the Clancet Trust was a huge moment in my story, and a major catalyst for this entire investigation. Finding out that it's been pretty much backwards this whole time has been a bit surreal.
Yep.
That's where we're at.
Irony,
Looking over
man.
the information you sent us was invaluable.
Woohoo!
You got everything absolutely correct.
Oh yay! I'm a smart noodle. Yay! I was not 100% confident. Holy beans and biscuits. Yeah.
Why did we even bother hiring a team? You figured it all out solo.
And I haven't played the game in a month. You know? I mean, I use the duck a lot. I use the duck a fucking ton. Okay, I will admit it. But I'm tired. Still a very good game. Still, still
All this information.
Still enjoyed it.
This entire story. It's a lot. In more ways than one. Some of it has the potential to destroy marriages and ruin relationships.
Yep.
We're handling it all very, very carefully. But we couldn't have gotten here without you. And with that, I guess our tale has finally, truly come to an end. What a strange one it was. No words can express how grateful I am to you for untangling this mess. Honestly, I've had enough of my family's eccentricities and scandals for one lifetime. I imagine you have as well.
I am a little burnt out from all the reading, so.
And if not, well, there's always Elias's and Gwyneth's brothers and sisters.
Oh. Please no.
Attention! Attention!
Woohoo!
This is 5P coming at you from the real world. You know, the place you ain't ever lived in.
You say money is the root of all your problems.
And he's just a big hypocrite with this song now. Need more tea.
Hella hypocrites sitting back in your massive
But
estate.
he's the hypocrite.
From the cash that your
'Cause he got
ancestors
greedy.
gave you, acting like you somehow deserve it based on your family's creations. Yo, but looky here, sonny, don't you come for our money, or you might burn bright in hellfire someday, like that Madsen chick and her two dads. My pappy's cleansing trust should keep you away. Yo, it's disturbing catching a
TV
sermon
anchor,
from a geezer who's
Sam.
never known hurt.
Good voice acting too. Wonderful voice acting. Props to all the voice actors.
You expect me to treat your lectures on greed as some expert creed from he without blame. But instead, I turn my other cheeks and spread them. When you give me a kiss, you'll know just where to aim.
You say money is a root of all your problems. Let me take those problems away.
Whoever calls dollars the root of all evil, just trying to make small pursuits of real people. You silver spoon feeds you the world's purest treacle, while real world folks burning spoons for the needle. So
It's a shame though, because I think this song makes actually some valid points. But it's, you know, the fact that he was just full of shit the whole time. Became a greedy fuck. Is Godot a good engine? I have no context.
I came up on the streets, the only streets you reppin' are Park Place and Boardwalk. Hypocrisy, monopoly is toppling. When I knock, have G's. Top off my pockets, please. Cause the same God that got to steal my mom from me is what he wants, right? For you to live in poverty, and if you're suddenly not eager to unhand
Fully
that
open source
fortune,
and free.
that's unfortunate. I guess
Cool.
I'm gonna have to take my portion, and I'll do it all legally. Class
This game was on Itch.io free for a while.
You say money is a root of all your problems. Let me take those problems away.
Bring the choir in.
You say
This guy from
money is a
my friend Alex looked it up, and I didn't know about this, but when the game was free on Itch.io, the guy who made the game used all AI art for all the photos and art like in the game,
is a root
and
of all your problems. Let me
which is like, you know,
take those problems away.
I get that it's a free game and stuff like that, but still, shit like that, you know, not great. But you know, because enough people complained, he did eventually hire an actual artist to make all the photos in the Steam release. So, which I'm happy with, because, you know, I don't want to support a game with AI, a generative AI bullshit. So I'm glad an artist got paid for this. Is that it? Hello? 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 Oh, there we go. Alright. Whew. What's this? Oh, we got a new game? Let's take a look here. Speaking of AI... I'll wishlist it. I'm curious. Alright, but that was the Roottrees. I convinced some people to use it, not use it for their thinking. Aww, that makes me happy. I keep seeing like videos of people like telling horror stories of like how people seem to keep using ChatGPT as a search engine when it's not. It's literally just a regurgitator, you know? It doesn't base anything off of, like, actual, like, articles, you know, that exists on the internet. It's just, you know, it just regurgitates what's ever fed to it. You know? Apparently there was a incident where a guy thought that he was writing a novel with the AI, a ChatGPT. And then when he asked the AI, you know, to, you know, send him the files for the book they wrote together, there was no files to send because it was all make-believe. Have you seen the Google AI results? No. I don't see Oh, you mean like Google's AI results? I've seen a few of those where they're just absolutely bonkers and wrong. I have an extension though on my on Firefox that just completely gets rid of it. So I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with it at all. I don't fuck with it. No fuckies for me. I fell asleep? Aw, it's okay. It's fucking late. Go to bed, Heart. What the heck? Go to sleep. Crazy person. You're in bed? Okay, well, good. You're halfway there. But we beat the Roottrees. I actually managed to get all the thingy do's right. I was not confident, but I guess, you know, my brain has a thinky thought once in a long while. You know? I was able to compile my thinky thoughts together enough to get in the direction that I wanted to get to. I don't know. Chapter is good at making shit up. Yeah. Terrible shit. Anyway, that's it. I don't know. I'm gonna hopefully I can stream again. Shit's a little bonky wonky right now for me because I'm taking care of my dad, so I don't know when's the next time I'm gonna be streaming because my free time's kind of like I'm adhering to, you know, his routine and so therefore my routine's kind of fucked up. So really the only time that I have like that I can like, you know, stream freely is time like right now, which is in the evening. But we'll see. You know, maybe I can get an art stream in or something like that. We'll see. Hopefully this weekend, because I need to get back to Paper Mario, because I would like to beat that in time for Spooky Month, which is coming up in a couple months, and I have a lot of games. I want to actually start in mid-September, because there's like a lot of games I want to get through for Spooky Month, because I picked up a few pretty cool new liminal space games, and some anomaly games. Oh, I missed you too. I missed you guys. I missed you guys. I miss flailing and screaming and crying and wetting myself and having people watch me do it all. I say things and then I regret the moment instantaneously. Woohoo! Yeah, glad to see you too, JH. I definitely prefer streaming in the evening because it's a lot cooler, but, you know. East Coast friends, and the UK friends, I want to try to accommodate you guys a bit more. Because I like you. I like your faces. Anyway. We're going. Oh, the ad break is. I'll finish the ad break to say my last goodbye. Alright, should be over. Okay. Anyway. Thanks for coming, guys. I'm glad I finally got the Roottrees over. Wow, it turned out 2.5 hours for me to figure out that last part. So I'm glad I did not rush it, you know, earlier today and just decided to break it up. Anyway, thanks for coming. Have a wonderful week ahead of you. You know, I hope the week ahead is kind to you guys, you know, because the world is so unkind, but, you know, we can help fight against that by, you know, being nice to each other. Me. Yeah, I got that covered, BP. I'm peeing too much, and that's like a sign of I'm doing pretty good on the hydration, you know, spectrum. Still vacation for you? Well, enjoy your vacation. Joy is a radical act these days. Yeah, a radio radical act. You know, because you're if a person's willing to accept it, you know, your joy can, you know, infest and infect and be a parasite and you know, undulate into someone's inner core to where they can also feel joy. Yes. Be infected with my joy and then feel joy yourself. Being happy in this economy, I can spread like a rash. Ooh. Itchy and oozy and, full of pussy love. Lord of the Rings with Vet. Aw, man. I need to get in with one of your guys' movie nights one of these days. I'm glad you had a good time, BP. Alright, I really gotta end it. Otherwise, I can spend another hour yapping